Okay, today my guest is Jen Shipston, and I'm delighted to tell you that she plays bagpipes all around Australia. They go with her, and she has even played them at iconic places such as Uluru. So over to you, Jen.
What do I like most about traveling? That's a big question to start with. I think that for me, what I like the most about traveling is not necessarily about the places, but about getting away from the rat race, really. We're just so caught up in busy, busy, busy all the time. And I want to show my kids places too. I want them to get to experience the world because I grew up in a small town and I don't think I left Queensland before I was an adult. So I didn't travel very much as a kid. It was like a trip to the beach about an hour and a half away from my little hometown was about the furthest I ventured. So traveling to me was about finding new places, but also getting into nature and getting away from all the busy.
Yep, I was exactly the opposite. I traveled from when I could walk, or even before I could walk, and haven't stopped. Yeah. So, how did you go with your children? I mean, the youngest was 4 when you began doing your trip around the eastern states, and that must have been really fun for them. I hope.
Yeah, it was great fun and it was good to see so many other families too. They hadn't done a lot of traveling either, but like honestly, they were troopers. They loved it. They're pretty cruisy kids and now they're the ones that are often like, are we going camping or when can we go camping again? Or, my oldest is going to be 18 in April and the only thing that she wanted, I mean, it's kind of a big request, but she's like, Mom, I just really want to go overseas for the first time. So they, even from when they were little, have really embraced the travel lifestyle.
Good. And so, how did you manage to do your bagpipe playing when you were around? Did you go to remote places especially, or did you just try it out? And did anybody ever complain? I just give you right that I actually like bagpipes, and I'll just share with you that my partner Ken and I were in Scotland sailing in the Inner Hebrides, and we just happened to be in a yacht club when in the Inner Hebrides when the new king was crowned. And
Oh,
after watching all the palaver on the television, we were alerted to two young girls standing on the veranda playing their bagpipes, and it was one of the most moving things. Honestly, I was to tears. It was beautiful. So I do love bagpipes.
I do think the bagpipes is a love or hate thing. You either love them or hate them. There's not really so much in between.
I think
And
you're right.
I was definitely nervous about playing in front of people. So I tended to go for like a little drive away from the caravan park or the campsite where we were staying to practice. I actually did like a little challenge for myself where I wanted to play my bagpipes every single day for at least 15 minutes. We would just go out of an afternoon, the kids, the dogs, we'd just jump in the car, go for a drive, find like an old road or a field or somewhere away from people, and I'd practice. But when I was doing the recordings for the video that I was making for my nephew, Morgan, he passed away. And so this was like a little tribute idea.
Oh
And
wow.
he loved music. That was our thing that we had was music. So I kind of played in honor for him. And at those places, it's pretty rare to get them to yourself. So I was often quite nervous because people are going into nature for the peace and quiet, not to hear blaring loud bagpipes. But I never actually got any negative reactions, really. I think if people didn't like it, they knew it was going to be over quickly. I wasn't like playing in front of people for hours and hours. And a
Yes.
lot of people actually thought that it was really cool and people would come closer to watch, which was also a little bit nerve-wracking. But yeah, I think overall, like people thought that it was different and unique and a little bit cool. And I think most people, any of the good people, think that bagpipes are cool.
Great. And I'm sorry about losing your nephew, but it's lovely to have this to remind you every time you pick them up. I'm sure you must remember him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So then you did a 3-week trip in Tasmania, and then later a full lap of Australia with your new female partner. What's her name?
Alicia.
Alicia. And you took your three kids there, then were age 11, 14, and 16. So how was that? Explain a bit about what your accommodation was like and how you went. That would be interesting to our listeners.
We had the dodgiest, well, it wasn't dodgy, but it was definitely far, far from those, $200,000 fancy setups with the triple bunk caravans and the Land Cruisers. And we did not have anything big or fancy. We had a 2010 Ford Territory 7-seater that we had to fit 2 adults, 3 teenage kids, a black lab, and a little dog into.
Oh my goodness.
And we had a Jayco pop-top camper trailer that we picked up for $3,000 because it had just been sitting in neglect. So it was a fixer-upper. We fixed it up enough to get ourselves around Australia. And off we went. It was the most simple setup. But taking the big kids, even though there was enough space inside for them to sleep, we had kind of learned from experience that it's better to divide and conquer. So we actually packed little stretcher tents in with us. So they
Oh,
each
yeah.
had a stretcher tent that they would go and set up outside the camper trailer. So it was like their own little space. And that was honestly probably the lifesaver for us, being able to spend so much time in each other's space
What a
at that
great
age where
idea.
teenagers just like to go and hide in their bedroom. And they need to have that downtime a lot more. So that was our solution for that.
What a great idea. Well done. Well done. And so, how long were you on the road with them?
For that trip, it was pretty ambitious. We gave ourselves only 6 months to get all the way around
Wow.
because we literally had this cheap setup and $10,000. And that was it.
Goodness me.
And we had to, and the most time we could really take off from our jobs and work and what we could afford was 6 months. So, it doesn't have to be perfect. I always live 6 months. We know we're not going to see everything. So, what do we want to see the most? And, setting up a camper trailer is hard work. We all had our jobs, but we did tend to stay like maybe 5 nights in a place, often a free
Yes.
camp or a cheap camp for 5 nights. And then we'd go and stay in a caravan park for a night to power up and enjoy the amazing showers.
It's the little things in life.
So much. The kids would always run to the bathrooms first and come back and report on like, oh my God, the showers are amazing. But yeah, we didn't want to rush through it. We wanted to be able to stay put. So we just knew we wouldn't see everything. It was kind of more like a highlight tour of Australia, and it's not going anywhere. I feel like it was a really good way to just experience, some of Australia and, wait for the future to do
Absolutely.
the rest.
I can so relate to that. My partner Ken and I bought a yacht, and it was only 10 meters. That's 33 feet. It's not very big. And we spent 6.5 years living on board it, went around the east coast of Australia and into the South Pacific Islands. And many places we went to, there were vessels way bigger than us that people were paying other people to crew for them. And I think we had the best time when I saw the organizing that had to be done because of the people you were employing and things like that. We just picked up our anchor and went, dropped it where we wanted to, went ashore. We were totally welcomed everywhere. And yeah, shoestring travel is fantastic. You have to get into the vibe. It's fabulous. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think you mentioned something about buying a campground or trying to buy a campground here in Tasmania.
Yes.
You've got
So,
so in tune to the camping lifestyle, you thought it'd be fun to have the travelers come to you instead of you go
uh,
to them.
yeah, well, why not if it feels like you're camping all the time? But honestly, this has been a long time in the making. My partner Alicia and I, we from the time we met knew that we eventually wanted to move to Tasmania. So, because I've visited so many times, I think I've been to Tasmania probably 10 times now.
Wow.
Since 2015, I think was our first visit there. And I just love it. And I've always been like, yeah, I could totally live here. So from day dot, we have literally spent the last 5 years every weekend looking through realestate.com at properties in Tasmania. Like and we had our little checklist, it has to be at least 5 acres, has to have a creek. We don't care so much about the house. Obviously, we're on a budget, so it had to fit like our criteria for cost. We wanted it to be not really more than like 45 minutes from a decent sized city, like where we would still
Mm.
get tourists and stuff, because even though we hadn't planned to buy a campground that was already established, we knew that we wanted to create some kind of tourist business on a property that we did buy. You know,
Right.
whether it be a campground or an Airbnb or a wedding venue, we always knew that we wanted to work from home and build a place where people would come to us. So it couldn't be like out in the complete middle of nowhere. So we looked
Yes.
and we looked and we looked for 5 years. At the end of 2024, we actually found this amazing place and we instantly booked plane tickets from Queensland. We told them, please wait, like we're going to come and look at it. We went down, we fell in love with it. We put in an offer and we missed out. And we were like so devastated.
Wow.
It was like the beautiful old style, cute home with the attic windows and like a beautiful space and a stream out the front that you could hear while you were on the veranda. It was like so perfect. And I cried and cried for days when we missed out. But I guess we're pretty big believers in that, like, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yes.
And I'm
Mm.
definitely living through that now because then, you know, fast forward a year and we found this property and it already had the campground as part of it. So we're
Yeah.
like, wow, this is amazing. And the creek was bigger. It's right next to the Tamar River. The house, it's again a bit of a fixer-upper, but we're not new to that. And it's a cute little cottage. I think it will look amazing when we've kind of added our own little touches to it. Settlement is still happening in February, and there's been so many hurdles to jump through. A lot of places like insurance companies and banks and whatever don't like dealing with residential properties that also have a business attached, I found out.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
there's been many hurdles, but I'm like, okay, 7th of February, it's going to be ours. And we've already been down and visited.
Oh,
We're
fabulous.
very excited to kind of take over and put our own little sparkle to it, I guess.
Sounds really exciting and fabulous, and I'm sending good vibes that it all goes perfectly for you. And once you get settled, I'll definitely come visit you.
Awesome. That
So,
would be great.
so I would like to know, you say one of your biggest travel loves are hiking, well, it can't be one, it's a couple of them, are hiking and snorkeling. And you recently got your diving certificate. Well done.
I did.
And you've also hiked the Overland Track, and you did the three capes. What's it? Three capes track
Yeah.
with your daughter when she was 9.
Oh, she loved it. She was actually fitter than me, and half the time I had to try and keep up with her. I also did it only with, I think, a 4-day gap between the overland track, and then I had a rest, and then I went on the Three Capes
Did
track
she do
with.
the overland with you as well?
No, that was my ex-husband and I did that together.
Yeah.
Um which was an interesting experience. But yeah, so I only had a little break and then went with her. It was a 3-night hike and she was all over it. I mean, I did have to carry more of her stuff, but she still carried a pack and
Mm.
she yeah, we did the extra little side trails. I think because we were tracking our steps, I think one day we did like 23,000 steps or something, and
Wow.
she was an
Oh.
absolute champion. She loved it.
And I think you have got her hooked for life now because it's addictive. It really is. I can
Yeah,
remember.
I mean, I hope she comes back to it like I'm going to come back to it because,
Yeah.
you know, up here in Queensland, it is not, I don't find it very hiking friendly because it is just so hot, which is why I'm looking forward to going back to Tassie. But she also is like a teenager now and she's got school and work and all the things. But I do think that on the inside, like I have instilled that love in her and I do think it will come back. On our most recent trip that we did to Tassie, she did ask to go up to Marion's Lookout. She wanted to do the really hard bit where you have to, hold on to the ropes and climb the little
Yes,
ladders and stuff and get to the
lovely.
lookout. So we did do that. And she's definitely got an adventurous spirit. She doesn't want to do schoolies. Instead of schoolies, she's booked herself a 42-night Kentucky tour of Europe by herself.
Oh, go
So,
girl.
yeah, it's definitely
Fantastic.
instilled that love in her for sure.
My word, that will make what a better thing to do than schoolies.
Yeah.
Goodness. So, what about the snorkeling? Where do you do the snorkeling? You probably don't do much of that in Tassie, yet Tassie is lovely.
Totally snorkel in Tassie. I have
Okay.
snorkeled in Tassie. I'm not scared of a bit of cold water. I
Fortunate.
am lucky enough to live in Mackay, so we have pretty good access
Mm.
to the Great Barrier Reef here. Although I think Western Australia was absolutely amazing because there's so much snorkeling straight off the beach,
Yes.
especially when we stayed in the Ningaloo region. But I
Mm.
also still jealously follow pages of snorkeling in Western Australia, and there's so much snorkeling that's just accessible to Perth. And
Yes.
so honestly, I would love living on the West Coast for that. But up here, I've sometimes driven up to Bowen. Bowen has some fringing reef straight off the beach as well. I'm just not a fan of going out on the tour boats where you're given like half an hour in and out. You don't get to just drift around and enjoy it as much as going straight off the beach. So my other favorite top spot, absolute favorite of all time so far, is Heron Island in
Oh,
Queensland.
wow. Nice.
So even though you do need a boat trip over there, we've stayed. I went there for my 40th last year and took the kids and my partner, and we stayed for 5 nights. And it's like you just hop in the water and straight away you see things. And we spent
Fabulous.
hours and hours just drifting around. But I have also snorkeled in Tasmania, and I hope to continue snorkeling in Tasmania. I'll just have to buy a wetsuit.
Yep, that does make a bit of difference, especially if you want to stay under for longer. Yeah. Oh, goodness, yes. You've been running an Airbnb from your home in Mackay. So
Yeah.
often do people come, and I have stayed at Airbnbs, but what do you offer at yours?
So our Airbnb honestly is mostly for people traveling, usually between Brisbane and Cairns,
Mhm.
because we're sort of a halfway point.
Yes.
So we started the Airbnb because the interest rates were going crazy. Our mortgage had doubled, and we're like, what can we do to help out here besides working more? So we had an area of our home that was self-contained, and we'd just mostly been using it as storage. So we thought, you know what? Why not? Let's just turn it into an Airbnb. And we've been running that for 3 years now. We usually have about 80% occupancy.
Wow.
A lot of overnight stays when people are traveling, like I said, but
Mm.
we also get people coming to visit their family. We've sometimes had people who are working in Mackay, vets and things like that, that are just doing locum work. And yeah, it's actually been incredible way to make a bit of extra money and meet new people, and really it hasn't affected our day-to-day life very much because it is a separate part of our home. It's nothing like I've been to some amazing Airbnbs. Holy, there's some cool Airbnbs out there, but ours is more a stopover point, I think. But I do think that it's something that is a little bit out of the box if you're thinking of ways to make extra income and you have the space available. Like it's a really,
Yeah.
really great way.
Mm. Oh, good. I was just interested. Thank you. Where would be your next place to go to when once you've got settled here in Tassie and would like to do a trip? Where would you
Wow.
aim to next?
First of all, I mean, I have seen a lot of Tassie, but I haven't seen all of it. So definitely doing some local travel in Tasmania first. But as much as I've traveled Australia, the only time I've ever gone overseas was to New Zealand when I was in high school. It was like a school choir trip, and I was
Oh,
sick
wow.
for most of it. So
Oh,
I'm
no.
super keen to get overseas. Obviously, we're going for my daughter's 18th. We've booked a cruise for that over to
And
the island.
lovely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So that will be like the first stamp that I actually get in my current passport. And then when Alicia and I get married, because we're going to get married on our Tassie block, we're going to honeymoon in Europe because I just really want to go to Europe.
That sounds lovely.
It's a while away and it's a bit of like a gotta save up and bucket list item, but in the meantime, we've got Tassie to explore, so that'll keep us busy.
Absolutely. And one thing about Tassie, and I've lived here since 1991, there's so many beautiful places just a little spit away. Everything is so close. And if you want a beach, you just go one way. And if you want to go a mountain, you just go the other way. If you want to go to a waterfall, there's just so many, and it's lovely. So, one place I would recommend once you've got really settled and ticked a few things off your bucket list, do go and visit Flinders Island, because Flinders Island is part of Tassie and it is remarkable.
Ah,
Absolutely
well, that's a
remarkable.
new place. I haven't been there. I've been to Maria Island. I highly
Yeah.
rate that as well, but I haven't been to Flinders Island, so I'll put that on the list.
So, have you been to Bennelong Bay?
Yes, beautiful there.
So, you know all those beautiful red rocks and things.
Yes.
Well, if you think about Flinders Island is about 80 kilometers long, and it's like that on steroids. It's magnificent.
Wow.
It's granite mountains to climb and beautiful wetlands. It's amazing. So
That
anyway, that'll
does
be.
sound incredible.
I always give Flinders a bit of a plug because he was. Mine just shouldn't, because then too many tourists will go there and it will ruin it.
Exactly, exactly. It's got to stay a local hotspot, little secret one.
Yeah, but it does help their economy. So perhaps, so long as we sort of don't overdo it, it's
Yeah.
lovely. It's been great having you, Jen. So, are you going to take your bagpipes with you on your cruise ship?
I don't really have the best sea legs, so trying to manage playing bagpipes and standing up straight might be a bit of a stretch.
It's possible. Well, thank
But
you
you can
very much.
escape. Like you can't escape a ship, so if you don't like it, you're stuck.
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you so much, and good luck with all your upcoming adventures. And it's been great to have you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.